So how many apples could we get with 14 billion euro?
I could get you 28 billion euro apples, and I'd have them for you in an hour.
With the budget just days away, we're going to be hearing a lot about how the government plans to spend billions and billions of euro. What we'll also hear about is how they're going to spend the 14 billion from the Apple tax case. So we've come to Moore Street with our trusty whiteboard to ask people how they would spend the money. Does that look like an apple? Hang on. Affordable housing. Why have you said that?
I think as a young person in Ireland, I think that's a priority issue for most people. I think it's hard to grow up in a country where you feel you'll never be able to own your own home. And I think you see young people crying out time and time again for the government to invest in this.
Do you think that you will be able to buy a home sometime?
For me, that doesn't really feel like something that could happen for me. I'm emigrating next week.
Are you? Where are you going?
I'm moving to Jamaica.
Okay, I was expecting Australia.
No,
Jamaica.
not Australia. My sister's in Australia.
Okay, your sister's in Australia.
Yeah,
why Jamaica?
Well, I work in human rights,
okay.
So it makes sense for me. But
okay.
I think it would just be really nice to be able to envision a future for myself in Ireland, and that's not really something I'm considering for the foreseeable.
What have you written there?
So homeless crisis.
Does it hit home for you particularly?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I live in the city centre, so like every time you walk down the street, you just have to pass somebody that's homeless. It's devastating.
Mm. And do you think the government should be building homes for them to build?
Well,
shelters?
I mean, where I live particularly, there's plenty of empty buildings. There's a lot of empty spaces. I mean, they're not doing anything with them, so I think that's the main issue, is they're not addressing it.
You've written down here by helping poor people.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by that?
Some people have difficulty in getting jobs and all, and some people are homeless like that. Like government should help that kinds of people.
So we're on Henry Street now, and we have just taken a little break. It is pouring rain. Probably not the best day to come out with the whiteboard, but we have spoken to a lot of people, and overwhelmingly so far, people have said they want the government to spend the money on trying to fix the housing crisis. But there has been other suggestions too. So you've chosen funds for SNAs, units and housing. So why have you chosen them?
I have chosen funds for SNAs and units because I have a little boy who has special needs, and I've applied for about 28 schools now, and they're willing to take them, but the problem is they've no support, like absolutely no support for them. So there's no SNAs, there's no AIM support, there's not enough units out there for kids with special needs, and my son is diagnosed, and on a diagnosis it says he needs to be in either a mainstream school with a unit attached or just an actual unit itself. To feel like we're put to the bottom of the list because they can't speak for themselves. This bike shed, is bike shed learning any of our kids with special needs anything? No, nothing.
So you have chosen hospitals and healthcare.
Yep.
Why is that?
There's mad waiting times, even in A&E. There's all this stuff. The trolleys, there's an issue with people getting beds, waiting time. The staff, they're understaffed a lot of the time. And it's just not in an ideal spot at the moment. I think they should try to staff more first and worry more about paying the staff and all that first. They work a long hours. It's like 14-hour shifts, which is crazy. And you expect them to go in the next day and be at their peak, and it's just not very fair.
I would give all 5 million people or so in Ireland a Christmas bonus of €280. And I think that would be manna from heaven.
The most expensive iPhone we've seen is 1100, which means with 14 billion, I think we could get 13 million iPhones for the people of Ireland.